What's going on? Move the Mouse here, back in City Skylines with our Let's Play Season 7, Episode number 39, City of Portsmouth. And I did a bunch of stuff offline. I'm sorry, it usually happens at one point, but I ran into an interesting problem, which is prop limit. So I was painting some trees in, and then I just couldn't paint anymore. So I've been thinning them out quite a bit. Let me show you kind of how thick they were. Ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. So like these really super dense forests surrounding everything. So what I did was, so far only the northeast corner of the map is I've thinned it out a lot. And I think when you're kind of seeing it in the distance, it kind of gives it color. It's totally fine, right? Especially now that I have the depth of field on, like it just kind of blurs into all the same color palette. But I literally could not put down any more trees and in turn any more props. So I started thinning this out. We'll make some thick patches here or there where it's appropriate. But basically what I've been doing, let me show you kind of how I've been doing this. My escape key has been sticking. I think that stinks. Something happened to it. It's just not responsive. I don't want to say it's time for a new keyboard because this one isn't that old, but I gotta maybe take it apart and see. Okay, so let me show you what I've been doing. Where do we have, like, we got like really thick forest over here, right? And you can see like I've started to delete it from certain areas to start painting it back in. So let's repaint this piece that you see here on screen. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go into the forest brush, and this works with the regular brush if you're on console. But you can turn the size and strength up. You do that with a D-pad on console. But let me turn the strength all the way up. And the size considerably up. There we go. And now we can come in here and just right-click and delete everything. So we're going to delete all the trees from this area. I'm kind of been doing this area by area. But let's take all these trees out and let's thin it out quite a bit. Because we're up against our prop limit. There's only so many things you can cram in a map, and trees are one of those things. So I couldn't paint any more trees. So we'll try and here we'll drop the strength way down to 10%, and then we're just going to kind of paint over here. We can always, oh, by the way, this happened. I turned down the simulation accuracy of, what do you call it? Traffic manager, to try and get more frames. And it didn't really get me any more frames. It did get me a lot of traffic though. So I'm kind of overlapping a little bit. I don't want to overlap too much, but if you swirl the brush like that, it'll fill in some of the space a little bit better. But we want to have this kind of semi-filled with trees, but not crazy. I don't remember what I did over here. I think that was all clear in that center circle, but we'll come back and kind of detail certain areas. I'm just doing this to thin the tree count out quite a lot. We still want it to have that color. We still want it to pop like fall. We just don't want it to prevent us from putting anything else on the map. So I can see the sun is setting. Let me set it to high noon so that this is a little easier to see the density difference here. There we go, a little less shadows. So you can see, I mean, like, that's dramatically different, the density across the highway versus what we're doing over here. And what I might do is when I film some of the ending cinematics, like I might fill in some trees in the background just for that. But let's see how this looks. That's the real question, right? It looks a lot different, but it's still got some color pop when you come down in here, but it doesn't completely cover the buildings that are in the background. It's a necessity. Now I believe there is a mod that allows you to do unlimited props, but if I was worried about my performance before, so what's happening here basically? Let's talk about this for a second. Wrong button. Let's go into options for Traffic Manager Present Edition. I'm going to set the accuracy of the simulation to very high. And I'm guessing that's going to help clean this up because traffic was doing just great until I made that change. And then everything started backing up at this turbine, which is one of the heavier spots on the map. We're not actually seeing traffic go up that much. We're at 83%, but Turn the accuracy of the simulation down. Oh no. Okay. That hung pretty bad there. So I want to thin out these trees, but not in certain spots. So in certain spots, I still want it to be a little bit thick here. Let's turn the brush size down. Well, turn the brush size down. Whoa, I can't talk. Turn the brush size down a little bit more, and at least around where the highways are, provide this little bit of a noise buffer. Trees do absorb sound now, so that will have an effect on the noise pollution coming from the highway, but the highway's elevated, so it has the sound dampening sides also. But that way we're a little thicker with the trees around the highways, but then we can kind of start to space things out. I don't know. We'll tweak it, but the bottom line is we had to get rid of a bunch of trees. I'd like around the highway to be very, very tree filled. This part though, the inside the diamond, we could empty that just for better visibility and safety. And then just fill this in a little bit. Again, so that the highway is kind of cut out of the forest. Then that forest has been whittled down as developments pop up. Speaking of developments, actually, let's talk a channel development first, and I'll talk about a couple things I did offline in the city. Like I said, it's unfortunate. Sometimes it happens. I get carried away working on a little project, getting set up for the next episode. So this filled in rather nicely. This is the first little office park and commercial area, but I'm not sure that I like it. It's too much. It's too much. It's too much for over here at the edge of the map. But this one I think fits a little better, but I don't know. So I was saying that I wanted to do this. Sorry for whipping the camera around. When we cross the river into Kittery, we've got this exit here, and this is the one that splits traffic coming into the residential area, or this exit and entrance takes people into the industrial area. And I realized that if trucks want to go from this way, I don't actually have anything hooked up there. So let's just do a temporary fix for them where a truck could go off that way. Let's see if we can come over this. Like that, and then down. Can we do that? Anarchy that. Is that a little steep? Yeah, it's a little steep. It's also a little higher than it needs to be, so let's grab those and bring those down a bit. That makes a little bit more sense. And then for these trucks that would be coming this way, getting off, we'll let them kind of branch off into their own. Is it going to let me do that? It'll let me do that with Anarchy on. That actually works out fairly well. So let's pause and reverse that. And that actually, that's good enough. Good enough for now. But this traffic's moving. So that was the first zone that we had pulling into our industrial, which we'll take a look at in just 1 minute, because I think we're about to level a couple of those. There's another trumpet interchange that delivers traffic off this way, and we've still got to kind of figure out what we're doing over here. But there's going to be, you know, some smaller neighborhoods in behind off towards the edge of the map. And then I added a third trumpet interchange over here, which dumps out to this roundabout, keeping things flowing relatively nicely. We've got our little office park over here, and I was thinking of doing actual park objects, kind of like a park along the seacoast here. And then that dumps into a new commercial strip, which carries traffic all the way down this way and kind of meets up with some of these other roads. So it's very chaotic, but relatively good, I think, at traffic. Let's double check, make sure we don't have any major slowdowns. A little bit over here. I'm not thrilled about this slowdown happening over here. Is that? What's up with that? I guess it's not too bad. And then we've got a lot of traffic on this main road. So this is all the traffic coming into the zone. And then we've got the trucks coming into industrial. Let's talk about that for a minute. I think I got distracted. Hold on a second. Before we talk about this, there is something very important to talk about. Today is December 4th. It's a Wednesday. Not this Friday, but next Friday is Friday the 13th. And we've been talking for a while about doing another charity stream, and specifically a horror stream with Apple Buddy at the helm. So the reason why this will be so entertaining is because she is absolutely terrified. For those of you that don't know, Apple Buddy is my wife. For those of you that don't know, she hates horror, but she's willing to sacrifice and put herself on the line. And I've selected a handful of games that I think will be pretty entertaining. We're going to start ramping up slow. Something really simple and almost cute, but terrifying at the same time. Bendy and the Ink Machine. I always want to say that one backwards. That's a game from Achievement Hunter, actually. Their studios. Pretty cool. Got a good horror feeling to it. Kind of cute, but scary at the same time. I thought we could do something like that. I thought maybe if we could find enough people out there, let me know on the Discord if you are one of them. If we have enough people who have Left 4 Dead on the 360, which is backwards compatible, Left 4 Dead 2, I should say, we could potentially team up as a bunch of zombies and try and pick Apple Buddy off. That's something that we could do. We've also got some very fun VR games, and by very fun I mean I don't think she wants to do it, but we're gonna get her in at least one of them. So we've got Five Nights at Freddy's VR Night Shift or Help Wanted or something. I forget the name of the specific. There's that, and then there's also Paranormal Activity, which she already said she's not going to play. But if we get some money out there for charity, then I think we'll do it. So I'll do the Tiltify thing like we did during the last charity stream. That seemed to work really well, better than the YouTube system, which I was super disappointed in. But stay tuned on the Twitter and the Discord. Follow me over there and join the discussion. If you aren't there already, I'll put links in the screen. They're always in the description and at the end of the videos as well. But I just want to give a quick update on that. So not this Friday, but next Friday, Friday the 13th, December 2019, we're going to be doing a charity horror stream for able gamers. So hopefully you can make it. I'll put the link up to the charity before then. If you can't make it and would like to contribute, always appreciated. Give what you can if you can. I know it's Christmas and people are saving for presents and trips and visiting family. So, again, give what you can if you can. It's a really good cause. And we hope at the very least that we'll see you there next Friday for that stream. So with that out of the way, let's see how our businesses over here are doing. So oil was the first one to level up to 5. Woodland Farms, which confuses me every time because it's a farm, not wood, is so close. Look at this, 100 units, and we're over the worker count, so we're about to hit level 5 there. We've got Morningwood, yeah, so we're just waiting for production on that one. Still a little ways off on that one. Enough workers, and how's our ore business? Same thing, enough workers, just need the units. So it wouldn't be a move the mouse episode if one of our flour mills didn't burst into flames. Looks like the fire department's already there. Good work, thank you. Yeah, so we're very close on that one. What, 50 units away? That's gonna happen very soon. So I did slide some stuff around. Unfortunately, I don't have a before and after, but I just tightened everything up so that it's kind of right on top of one another, and that got us, I think, 2 extra glass manufacturing plants and 1 extra ore grinding mill and the warehouse count was the same, but we did get an extra sand lot in for bringing in more raw ore for processing in these buildings. So hopefully they're all doing okay supply wise. Looks like they are. They've all got stock that they can work on, and we're constantly importing more goods. So basically these are just going to be constantly cranking out goods. We'll look at the supply chain a little bit more in depth, but I wanted to show you kind of what I was working on over here to kind of smooth things out and let it keep growing. I also did that tree trick here. So I thinned the trees out and then replanted them with a thinner less aggressive brush. We'll come back in, like I said, and detail certain areas and thicken it up by the highways where we want it to dampen sound. But, you know, for out here in the middle of the woods where no one's really going to see, except maybe on one flyby into the city, we don't need, you know, that thick forest out there. At least I'm willing to make that concession to make the game able to plant trees elsewhere. So speaking of, we've definitely got some dry spots over here that don't have trees. I was thinking of doing this little square in a park, which is kind of why I left that there. So we won't even plant trees in that one. We'll fill these in a little bit back here. It really does. I think it adds a fantastic touch of color and really feels like New England in the fall. So we'll fill all that in. I don't mind filling the center of the roundabout, but the triangles, those generally won't have anything too obstructive in there so that you have better viewing of the cars that you're about to potentially collide into. So when I finish deciding kind of where stuff goes over here, I'll bring the tree line up to that, and then we'll start thinning out this side. This side has not been thinned out yet. And then obviously we need to thin out over there. There's so many trees over by the campus. And they may look a little wonky now because I don't have the render distance up all the way. That's honestly at this point going to be something for the one of the last videos in the series when we do the cinematics, because it gets so crazy trying to manage things with the frame rate. I am at 16, 17 frames per second, 16 to 18 frames. So, I mean, it's not terrible, but it's not great, and I have to slow down my cinematics and speed them up after the fact. Did increasing the accuracy help us at all? No. So what happened over here when I turned the accuracy of the simulation down and then turned it back up? It's just not processing traffic correctly, or something has happened to slow us down over here. I wonder if this spot seems pretty good. So this is 4 lanes coming down to 3. Could we change this to a 2-lane? Because that's part of the problem right here, is all this traffic merging right here at this point. What if it didn't have to merge? What if there was a 2-lane highway here? And here, technically. Does that speed things up at all? Or does that slow down this traffic? We could have them shift over into these 2 lanes. It looks like that will fix our problem for now. So because that doesn't involve any traffic manager settings or anything like that, that's the easiest way to go on our CPU as well, by not having it really recalculate too much. But that actually helped out quite a bit, didn't it? Oh, see, I did that over here already. Did not do that over here. I mean, we may as well see if it does anything. Although, are all these cars shifting over? What? Don't shift over. We don't want you to shift. There's another lane for you. All right, whatever. We will fine-tune our traffic situation later on. Did we replant all the trees over here? I think we did. And it still looks, let's see. Like I said, it still looks the part. It still looks fall. It just doesn't look as foresty as it did before, but that's okay. Concessions we need to make, because unfortunately the game is not unlimited. Again, I'll take a look. I think, is that a fire? Yeah, of course it is. I'll take a look. I think there's a way to remove or raise the prop limit if your PC can handle it. But like any mod, who knows how stable it is, but maybe that's something that we look at for the final cinematics. We'll do a save. We'll put the prop limit up or off and then try and fill it in with trees and see if we break it. But we'll be sure and save first. yeah, so that's kind of where we're at for today. Did we get level 5 yet? Yes, we did on Woodland Farms. So that is level 5. Oil is level 5. And just to confirm for my own sanity, we have more than enough workers, and we're just waiting on unit production. And more than enough workers waiting on unit production. I'd like to have more buffer in case we lose workers, but we can tackle that in one of the next episodes if we don't get level 5 on those. But I think just for the challenge of it, I'd like to upgrade those to level 5. We could start looking at dropping in more factories. And one project I do need to work on is some kind of shipping area over here and getting this cargo hooked up a lot better. So we have kind of 2 main industry areas. We have the industry island, and then we have this industry, which is connected kind of into the cargo over here. So I think it would be kind of cool as if we had like some kind of express cargo route that goes back and forth from shipping to this shipping, from shipping to each industrial area, something like that. So that's definitely a project that I need to work on. I think that would help things be much more efficient. Our money's all over the place. So right now we're at negative 24,000, negative 15,000. It should climb back up into the green. And a lot of that has to do with kind of where things are at in the production chain. And then we get these big boosts on exports, and then things slow down again. But overall, we're doing pretty good. 19 million in the bank. So faster than I can work on projects, we are making money. I think that's the most money I've ever had for a city. I could be wrong, though. We are in 2067, which might also be the furthest into the future I've built a city. I'm trying to think what we do over here. I should probably cram in a couple more neighborhoods, I feel like. That only makes sense. Like, this is prime real estate on the waterfront. Let's come from here. Do something like that, and then maybe we can come from over here. Maybe this could loop around this way. And there's got to be one more coming up through here. I think that's okay. We'll do a little park here. We'll fill this in with trees. We'll have some dead zones. That's okay. I'm so tempted to, but I'm not going to do it yet because warehouses move in. It's going to remember where those trees are. We don't need it to remember that. We need to forget these things. We need more trees elsewhere on the map, so I won't fill this in too much. We'll come back in and detail that some more. What do we need? We don't need... Wow, it's being a little laggy on me today. We're getting to that point in the city. So we'll fill... Nope, not high density. That's kind of a weird street. I feel like that should connect through. Something like that. And then we'll finish zoning this off. This can be all residential. Totally fine. They're probably going to flood at some point. We'll do this. I'm not going to build a house right on top of the back of that commercial. Should rename that Evergreen Terrace. Okay, that's a pretty good spot. That kind of gets you caught up. Some different projects that we can work on. There's just so much. There's so much to do in the city. But I gave you the update too. New videos every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Next Friday, Friday the 13th. Tune in if you can. for the charity horror stream starring Apple Buddy, my wife, and I guarantee you it's going to be entertaining to watch. She's going to be terrified, and she's doing it for charity. This is I was almost going to mention this, and this is the first year that we've won all 5 sports trophies. So good on us. I was actually going to go over there and potentially, there was one, like, we were winning 4 every year. And with a cranked up budget, I expect 5 trophies every year. Every single year, 5 trophies. We need better from our university. We're putting a lot of money into this thing, and I expect better. So they better keep delivering 5 trophies per season, per academic year. We will not accept anything less. I was at the cafeteria the other day. I got a blueberry muffin, barely had any blueberries in it. I told the chef that we want an equal number of blueberries in every single blueberry muffin. We will accept nothing less than perfection. Props to you if you got that reference. Look at all those people pouring off the subway, huh? That's the other thing. So we need to get some of these newer sections of town hooked up into the subway. Metro overhaul, I don't know, 3.0 will be coming soon. So lots of different stuff that we'll be working on. Again, new videos every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Tune in, please, next Friday, Friday the 13th, for the charity horror live stream benefiting able gamers. If you're new here, subscribe for more and consider hitting that bell to get notifications. As always, every single like, comment, and share helps the channel a lot and is greatly appreciated, so please do so if you can. If you're new here, subscribe for more and consider hitting the bell to get notifications. Follow me on Twitter and join the Discord if you want to get involved in the discussion. Come on over there and let me know what you want to see in 2020, because I'm kind of outlining some plans for some new content, some new series, some new how-tos and tutorials. So stop on by, say hi to a bunch of fans of the channel and of cities. Until the next one, though, when we keep thinning out trees and finding other stuff to add and detail in our map, this is Move the Mouse, signing off.